Well, every year I come down to Missouri for my annual rut trip that I take off of work. I came down, last year was my first successful year with it on a farm that the McBees were nice enough to let us hunt on, that Wyatt's dad actually used to own. So I shot my first mature buck on that farm, and this year came down and it was no different, just on a different farm.
Alright guys, well, it is my first morning in Missouri. I drove down yesterday after I got off work on Friday and drove all through the day to jump in a stand here with Wyatt. So I am here till the 14th, I believe. It's been pretty warm so far. Yeah, we're gonna have a warm couple days here before things drop off. So we figured we'd come jump in this bean field that Wyatt and I have some history hunting a few times. Kind of one of our favorite spots around here. So we'll see what happens. We got the decoys set up behind me, and hopefully we can wait one out. Wait for it to get all the way light out here and see if we can't rattle one out of this creek bottom as well. So November 7th, anything can happen and anything can change in a second. So I'm gonna cross our fingers and sit tight. We got a long trip ahead of us. It's only the first day, so things are looking good. We got high hopes. Cole killed a slammer last night, so he's got 2 more days before he can hunt. Wyatt's still hunting, and Jake is done hunting too until this weekend anyways. So we got a couple good cameramen and plenty of good spots to hunt. Even more good deer, so we'll see if we can't make it happen in the week to come here.
First couple days we sat in a couple familiar spots. One of my favorite spots we call the Bluff. It's where I rattled in my first buck when I came down here for the first time 3 years ago to hunt whitetail with Wyatt. So we jumped in there, and to kind of wait out the warm weather, we ran a decoy on the bean field, and we had a couple small bucks come in and work the decoy. It was good first sit on the first morning, good experience. All in all, it was fun.
Alright guys, well, it is the morning of November 8th. Wyatt and I split up last night, and he went and hunted with Austin over in the thorn tree after a buck that he calls Blueface. And Cole and I went over to the Bluff bean field that Wyatt and I sat yesterday morning. I was hoping that we could each catch up with a different deer, but in the middle of the day we came in here and we hung this set. And it's in this big bottom next to the farm actually that Wyatt and I killed in last year. So we got a big river to the south of us here, and it's just all timber and a big ridge over there. And so we're gonna let it get all the way light out here and start hitting some antlers together and see it. I mean, it's gonna be loud down through this bottom. The sound will carry a long ways, so all we need is a deer within a couple 100 yards of earshot. So it looks like a good spot. We've both been thinking about this set since we hung it, and so we're gonna try to sit it out as long as we can. I don't know if we'll do an all-day sit, but we're gonna do the better part of into the early afternoon. So we got high hopes. It's a super good looking bottom down there. Here there's turkeys gobbling everywhere. So we got a bunch of sign to the north of us. We got a scrape right at the base of this tree here, and then behind us as well. So looks like something good should happen. So we're gonna wait him out here, and hopefully we can catch a big buck cruising this river bottom here eventually at some point this morning.
And then a couple days into the trip, we got a call from our buddy Anson Sutherland. He's got a farm just a couple hours south of here. So we loaded up the truck, threw a banks blind on a trailer and grabbed our bows and headed down there. He had a bunch of old mature bucks that he had on his reveal cameras that I would have been more than happy to shoot. So we just got to Anson's property here. Gonna get some stuff unpacked. We're waiting for Anson to show up still. He should be here shortly, and then we're gonna go jump in. We brought the banks blind on the trailer and a couple more sets. So we're gonna go jump up, try to get those hung. Well, the middle of the day is kind of hot and everything's being lethargic, and then we're gonna go jump in a tree for the evening and see if we can't move something out of one of these cedar thickets or off one of these ridges. If not, we got plenty of time. We got the rest of the week. It's only Monday today, so I leave on this coming Sunday. So we got the rest of the week to try to get it done. And I mean, the farm looks awesome, so I don't think we should have any problems. Hopefully Wyatt and I could double, or at least in a couple days both of us get a deer down on the ground. So it's gonna be a fun couple days. I look forward to seeing what this farm's gonna produce.
Hey, Wyatt. Made it.
We made it.
I brought a couple banks blinds.
We've got enough banks blinds.
First evening we went in early. Wyatt and I hung a set that we felt really, really good about, and we felt that we were gonna sit there our next two sits, and we're hoping that's where it was gonna happen at. No luck the first evening. It was just too hot, so it was supposed to cool off and our wind was supposed to be good for the next morning, so we went and jumped right back in that same tree.
All right, guys. Well, it is the morning of November 9th. Wyatt and I are back in this tree that we hung a set in yesterday over on Hanson's ground. We just had our first couple does of the morning come through. Yesterday was real hot, so we're guessing that most of the activity happened last night. But we're sitting kind of between where we can watch these three fields. We got one here and here, well, four actually, and then a nice long one behind us that we rode in on this morning. So there's kind of this central chunk of timber that we hung in to kind of more or less do an observation sit to see what else we could see and where deer are moving out here. Neither Wyatt or I have hunted this farm before, so these first couple does come through. We thought they were going to come right down the trail in front of us, but they ended up crossing out onto this bean field and just kind of running across. So hopefully we can catch a buck this morning, move out of the timber, and run down this field edge looking for a doe. If he does, we'll be able to call to him and bring him in this timber, and he'll be in big trouble. So we got high hopes for today. It's not supposed to be as warm, and then the next couple days are supposed to drop off pretty good here. So we'll see, but nothing else we can do but sit tight and hope that we can get a big buck in earshot and we can either call to him or hope he walks by us. So fingers crossed, but things are looking good so far this morning.
First light, we had a couple does come through, and once the wind straightened out and settled to where it was going to be, we decided that at that time it would be time for us to grab the rattling antlers and make a little bit of noise. Immediately 10 seconds after we hit the antlers together, Wyatt and I saw a buck cut the inside corner of a bean field. We saw him coming through the timber. I grabbed my binoculars and glassed him, and instantly I knew he was a shooter.
smoking. You hard shot him. What? What just happened, dude? Oh, dude, I'm trying so hard to be quiet. We watched him. He just fell in the... Dude, he didn't even make it 30 yards from where I just shot him. Are you kidding me?
What?
Dude, we got a frickin' track record going right now. Are you serious? Oh, dude, I just rattled that thing off that tree line. He was running across. I didn't know if he was a young deer or what.
No, that's an old deer.
I just, no, when I saw him, I didn't know. And then I see him right there, and I'm like, that's a slammer.
Yep.
Gets here, I range him. Dude, I was trying to range it between this sycamore and whatever, this bigger sycamore, and I'm like, I kept ranging the tree. My hands all shaky. I get him right there, and I'm like, he's 40, so right here, he crosses, and I'm like, he's 35. I'm gonna shoot him for 30. I think I dropped my bow arm a little bit when I broke off my shot, but it worked good because, I mean, you ran 40 yards and died. Oh, dude.
We're done. First morning. Dude, we got to thank Anson for that one.
All in all, I just want to thank Anson for letting us come down and hunt his farm. We had a couple tough days up north of him a little ways, so we were pretty thankful to get down there where there was some good deer moving, and I was more than happy to come down and take one of his old mature bucks. That's 2 years in a row down in Missouri that I've shot old, beat up, fighting bucks. So all in all, it was a great experience. Thanks again to Anson, and thank you, Wyatt, for being behind the camera 2 years in a row now.
Well, we shot him right here within a step or two, but we got blood all over right here already. No, he's going right here, John. I thought he fell in the tree. Yep, he fell right down in it. Look at that.
That is an old deer.
When he turned his head away, man, he's
an old deer.
wide.
That's awesome.
All right, well, here he is. We drug him up out of this creek bottom. He didn't make about 50 yards from where I shot him at, so we're probably 70 yards total from the stand. So old buck. We hit the ant. We waited for the wind to kind of get to where it was gonna go and hit the rattling antlers together. And not 10 seconds after we hit them together, he must have been cruising the edge of the bean field. We saw him cut the inside corner, and about 10 minutes later, he popped up in the timber next to us and shot him at 35 yards. So he didn't make it too far. He ran straight down through here, pouring blood, and piled up in the bottom of this creek. So I couldn't be more happy. I thank you very much to Anson for letting us come down and hunt his ground. It's been hot the last couple days, so we've haven't seen a whole lot of deer. We haven't struggled, but just hasn't been the amount of deer that should normally be for November 8th, 9th, and 10th-ish, somewhere in there. So thanks again to Anson. Thank you for Wyatt for filming it. I couldn't be more happy. This is the second old Missouri buck that I've shot now 2 years in a row. So hopefully the years to come we can kind of keep the ball rolling. I'm gonna try to jump behind the camera for Wyatt tomorrow and film for a day before I head back up to northern Minnesota and get back to work. So hopefully we can get him one too and kind of keep the momentum going. But fun hunt. Everything worked out perfect.